What I love is the fans who tweet me and they're like, I know what you're going to do next episode. And I'm like, you don't.
Some people are going to become fans and some people are going to hate her. That's just this character.
If you stand in between her and her family being safe, you got to go.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi, how are you? I love your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I love your hair.
Thank you. We have a new relationship since COVID.
Yes, right. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you on that. So one of the things I loved about Power was the fact that it was so unpredictable and there was never a chance for me to get comfortable and, at least hope for some kind of happy ending. Can you talk a little bit about why it's important in your work to include everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Well, I think that verisimilitude, trying to be as close to reality as possible, like if that's the thing that you want, right? The audience responds most to the reality as it's kind of dramatized, which sounds crazy, but is really what it is. So the closest you can get to fact, that's where the best fiction is. Because people then resonate. That's happened to me. I feel that way. I've been Tasha when I found the receipt, I found, literal or figurative receipts of my person cheating, or I've been Angela waiting for the guy to leave, or I've been Ghost and I felt like I had the whole world on my shoulders. I've been Tommy. I felt like I've been betrayed by a friend. Those are all real things that happen. And so what I always try to do, and I tell my writers this, is like, I try to write the most banal, everyday story and then add the power element on top. So for me, that's why I think I always try to keep as close to reality as possible while still trying to be unpredictable.
Yeah, yes. And you succeed at that because I'm always like, oh no, he's definitely going to do this. And then I'm wrong.
What I love is the fans who tweet me and they're like, I know what you're going to do next episode. And I'm like, you don't, but okay.
Right. You're like, nice try. So who has been the most challenging character to write for?
Who has been the most challenging character to write for? Wow, that's really a great story. That's a great question. Great question. I would say the most challenging character to write for is Tariq in a lot of ways. That character's closest to my heart. I love Tariq. When people hate on him online, I'm always really angry at them because I'm like, no, you don't understand. He's going through so much. He's not being parented. People aren't showing up for him.
Right.
But writing that line of someone who's discovering himself, making sure that he doesn't sound too old, because for the most part, and Michael Rainey will tell you this too, the most of Power, he didn't have other kids to work with. He was always working with adults. So trying to make that voice sound right, so he didn't sound like a grown-up was a challenge.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but notice the poster art similarities between Power Season 1 and Power Book 2 Season 1 with the choose wisely and the whole double imaging. Is there some kind of hidden message there?
I mean, I don't know that it's hidden. I think sins of the father is always what we're talking about, right? I mean, I feel like as a real fan of the show, because we were doing it on purpose and very carefully. We were showing Tariq turning into Ghost, like moment by moment, decision by decision being brought in and not, he couldn't help it. It was almost like a gravitational pull toward a dark side. And I think that's why you're seeing those same images.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Courtney, for hanging out with me today. I had a great time.
Thank you. It was lovely to talk to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, Naturi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. The sun is shining and I'm healthy, so I'm good.
That is all you can ask for.
Yes, seriously. So I'll jump right on in. Tasha is willing to go extreme lengths to protect her son, Tariq.
Ma, we need to get you a lawyer.
What I need is for you to concentrate on school.
As a mom yourself, do you think that she took it a little too far with taking the rap for him for murder, or can you completely understand why she did what she did?
At the end of the day, it was hard, to watch the demise of Tasha when she gets arrested and goes to jail, because she really did try. She tried everything she could to take Tariq out of it, but also to keep herself off, out of the fire. But I understand completely why she did what she did. it just sucks because she has other children. She has to protect her family. She's now in prison. Her husband is dead. Her son is in school with no mother to guide him. And I think that that's scary. But I do understand Tasha's mentality is protect my children at all costs. She's always been that character. And she did the same thing for Ghost for many seasons. She was protecting Ghost. She stood by him. She's the ride or die of the family. And I think a lot of mothers can relate to that because that's what we do.
Yeah, seriously. And, I have a 6-month-old, so I think I can relate too.
Congratulations, girl. Remember, I have a 3-year-old. So I was literally shooting when Zuri was like only 3 months old.
Oh my goodness. Please tell me I'll make it through these sleepless nights because
you will. It's hard. And I was breastfeeding. So that part is hard. The first, I did 8 months and I was breastfeeding on set, but girl, you will get through it. Trust me.
Thank you. Whew. Okay. So do you think that Tasha will trust Tariq to get her out? Or do you think she's going to be like, I'm going to take matters into my own hands and do it myself?
I think she trusts Tariq, but she also knows he's a bit irresponsible at times. And he also does things to get in more trouble when we're already in trouble. He's been notorious for that. Tariq is a little bit of a wild card. And I think Tasha trusts him. And because they've created this mother-son duo relationship, they're like partners now. And I do think that comes with some risk. So she has to be careful. But I think Tasha does start to lay down the groundwork on her own because she can't rely on her son to save her. She feels like I'm the one that's supposed to be saving you. I'm your mother. So I think that's when she starts to take matters into her own hands.
Yeah. And, although she dabbles, in a life of crime, she's still a very strong Black woman who is resilient and, seemingly unbreakable, And so, what do you admire most about her?
That's such a great question, actually, because Tasha is a strong Black woman who has really been, I think, the glue that holds her family together. Even when Ghost was with Angela, she still tried to keep it together. And one thing I admire about her is that I think, a lot of times is sacrificial and selfless. I admire that, when things go down, even like season 2, when Tasha found out Ghost was sleeping with Angela, she told him, keep effing her until I tell you to stop. Because if this Fed that you're having an affair with finds out about us and takes us down, we lose everything. So she puts her own feelings of my husband is cheating on me aside and says, protect the family. Just like, she's done a lot of things that are hurtful to her. Killing her best friend, Lala. I didn't like it, nor did I agree. Like, I didn't want to do it, but I was like,
I know.
If anything stands, it's so sad. But at the end of the day, if you stand in between her and her family being safe, you got to go. So I do admire that she's willing to protect and sacrifice no matter what.
Same here. I totally agree with you. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me, Naturi. I had a great time.
Of course. No problem. It's so good talking to you, and best of luck to you with your new baby.
Thank you. I'm going to need it.
All right. And
the Lord.
You look great. Yes. Say many prayers. They'll get you through.
All right. Thank you so much. Hi, Method Man.
How are you, Miss Kaila?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great.
Good. Thank you for hanging out with me today.
Not a problem.
So this new series, I am super excited for. We get to see you play this high-powered, very expensive defense lawyer. And I'm curious to know what makes Davis different from every other lawyer we see on TV.
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, the most obvious thing is I'm playing him, so that makes it. I would say he's more of a Johnny Cochran kind of guy, He'll hit you with the legal jargon, but he's street enough to hit you with a I'm saying every now and then. You know what I mean?
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so that leads into my next question, which is, can we expect him to use more book smarts or street smarts, to help Tasha get free from prison?
Well, anytime you're addressing a client, you want to be as professional as possible. So it's always book smarts. But his biggest challenge is getting Tasha to give him the information that he needs in order to get her out of jail, if he can get her out of jail. It's a lot of underlying layers that go into the St. Patrick lifestyle. And if you haven't watched season 1 through 6, you're going to be totally lost. And you still have time because this new spinoff doesn't start until the 6th of September.
So what is the most challenging part about this role?
I would say the most challenging part is some of the lawyer jargon, I have to wrap my head around, but Google helps a lot. Sometimes the scenes are a bit long, but you have that when you're doing courtroom because of, jury and people, your peers sitting in the courtroom. But the most challenging thing is probably in between shots dealing with Naturi's ass. Now I'm playing. She's great. She's great. She's great. The most difficult thing is, I guess, trying not to be over prepared. Because if you come in over prepared, it's like you're not in it. You're not translating anymore. You're just speaking words, and you don't want to get caught up in doing that.
Yeah. Okay, last question for you. What is it like being on a show that lives and breathes New York? I know that's your hometown, so speak a little bit about that.
I think it's they did a brilliant job. Let's put it this way. The reason why people tune in to Power is for the diversity. A lot of it has to do with diversity, whether they want to admit it or not, or whether they know it or not. Mm-hmm. When you tune into this show, you will see someone that looks like you, and the beauty of it is they're not always they don't always have the backdrop that you would expect them to have. Same with this character here. No one would expect me to put on a suit and play a lawyer. The same way you wouldn't expect to watch a show about a drug dealer trying to better himself. And, they're dealing with feds and politicians and club ownership. And, it's just so many layers to this thing right here. That's why I give all the kudos to Courtney for doing what she does and having her thumb on the pulse of what's going on now.
Yeah, great. Amazing. Well, that's all I have time for today, but thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Anytime.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Hi, Mary. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for your time this morning and hanging out with me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
I feel like, your character in the series is the ultimate boss, definitely the one not to mess with. And I'm curious to know how you expect for fans to receive her.
I mean, I hope they receive her. I mean, some fans some people are gonna become fans and some people are gonna hate her. So, I mean, that's just what goes with this character. That's what it is.
Right. Sometimes I find myself rooting for, the quote unquote bad guy, or have a love-hate relationship. And you guys seem like polar opposites, but is there anything that you and Monet have in common?
I mean, we all have survival in us, and that's what I have in me. Monet is a survivor, but before she's a queen pin, the only reason why she's a queen pin is because she's a survivor. And so that's what I have in me, being able to survive.
I love it. Did you feel like you were at home filming in New York? How did it feel on set?
It felt great. I mean, it just felt good to be home, to be in New York shooting. My family's here. Everybody, it's home. It felt great.
Amazing. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Kaila.
Hey, Michael.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm chilling,
What time did you have to wake up this morning?
I woke up at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Okay. I was expecting worse.
I mean, I don't wake up early. I'm not a morning person. So I was just a little tough for me.
All right. So, I have to start by saying that for years, Power fans have been very invested, so to speak, in Tariq. I mean, I've seen full-blown Twitter debates about just how controversial he is. And, I want to know from you, what is the thing that Power fans have the biggest misconception about for Tariq?
honestly, I really feel like they don't remember the fact that Ghost left the whole family for, like for Angela. Like as a father, like you gotta be there for your kids. Like no matter what, like especially for your son. Like, like if you're not there for your son, things are just bound to, things are just bound to go wrong. A boy always needs his father present.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't know how they missed that, but like I feel like they missed the fact that Ghost he wasn't really there for his son. I mean, obviously he had money, like he got him clothes and got him in a nice school, got him in a nice house, but it's just like all of that stuff doesn't really matter if you're not really there, like emotionally and mentally for your kids. You got to be there for them, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something people forgot. They're just really in their feelings for a while there. And now it looks like Tariq is, kind of being forced to turn into Ghost. How do you think that he's feeling about that?
He doesn't want to be anything like his father. Like Tariq, he doesn't want to be anything like Ghost, but it's just like, it's kind of inevitable. Like it's in his blood, like as your father. So I feel like Tariq doesn't even notice that he's so similar to Ghost. But he's definitely forced to, kind of, pick up Ghost's ways because he's in a whole new world now. Like he's in a world by himself. Like he doesn't have anyone to turn to and be like, yo, what should I do in this situation? Like now he's his own man. He has to take care of mom in jail. You got to take care of Yasmin and grandma.
Mm-hmm.
He got to books in school. So it's just like, he's just weighing all those responsibilities and he's trying his best. He's forced to become a grown man in this season. So
yeah. And have you heard any like crazy fan theories about the new series?
But the new series, no, not yet. I haven't. I definitely want to see them because the fan theories they be funny sometimes. Like especially the one theory where it was like Kanan is Tariq's dad. I'm just waiting to see what kind of theories they come up with.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for hanging out with me today. I had a great time.
Of course, thank you.
Tasha St. Patrick, you're under arrest for the murder of James St. Patrick.
Tariq, listen to me.
Go to school. Live your life.
Ma, we need to get you a lawyer.
What I need is for you to concentrate on school.
Davis McLean, I want to hire you.
$500K. You get that? We'll talk.
The students here, all they do is party and study. We can make a killing here.
I don't even know you. Can't trust you.
You're not the only one with secrets.
I can't fail.
You raised that kid?
That boy loves his mother.